Jeffrey Epstein, a wealthy financier and convicted sex offender, utilized his private island, known as Little St. James, as a sanctuary for his illegal activities. Following revelations of the illicit activities occurring on the island, it started to get a bad reputation. However, some new photos of the island are gaining attention as the new owner attempts to shed the island of its bad rep, and we will be presenting them to you today. Here are the new photos on Jeffrey Epstein's island going viral. New photos of Epstein Island show major changes. Epstein's Island is going through a makeover, and new photos coming from the island are showing the major changes that are taking place in the island. The first observable change from the island from the photos is the iconic temple structure that once symbolized Jeffrey Epstein's dark secrets. Exclusive new pictures reveal a complete remodeling of this enigmatic building. The distinctive blue stripes that once adorned its exterior have been erased, replaced by a fresh coat of white paint. The cryptic patterns that once puzzled onlookers have also been whitewashed into memory. Gone are the forbidding wooden front doors and medieval-style lock. In their place, an outdoor patio and fire pit now stand, seemingly ready for a lively DJ set. It's a remarkable transformation that signifies a new chapter for this once controversial structure. Moving on, we arrive at the oversized pool area, a focal point of Epstein's former playground. The new images reveal subtle additions that hint at the island's luxurious future. Two inflatable swans gracefully bob in the crystal-clear waters, adding a touch of whimsy to the scene. Comfortable daybeds are strategically placed around the pool, inviting guests to relax and soak up the sun. It's clear that no expense has been spared in creating a lavish and inviting atmosphere for future visitors. As we explore further, we notice the roofs of several structures on the compound, including Epstein's former residence. Over the years, these roofs have either faded or been painted gray from their original blue. It's a subtle change, but one that reflects the island's transition from its dark past to a brighter future. The transformation of these roofs symbolizes the renewal and rejuvenation that is taking place on Little St. James. Behind this remarkable transformation is billionaire Stephen Dekoff, who purchased both Little St. James and the nearby island of Great St. James for $60 million. Dekoff, known for his ambitious development projects, has chosen to remodel the existing structures on the island rather than demolish them. His vision is to repurpose Epstein's playground of perversion into a glitzy resort that will attract visitors from around the world. With his extensive experience in island development, Dekoff plans to create a hotel, luxury resort, and a range of related attractions that will redefine the island's identity. After billionaire Stephen Dekoff acquired Great St. James and Little St. James for a staggering $60 million, he wasted no time in embarking on an ambitious project to renovate and reconstruct these scandal-ridden properties. Dekoff, known for his impeccable taste and eye for luxury, has enlisted a team of renowned architects, designers, and craftsmen to breathe new life into the islands. The goal is to create a world-class destination that showcases the natural beauty of the U.S. Virgin Islands while erasing the dark history that once shrouded these shores. The renovations encompass every aspect of the islands, from the main compound to the guest villas, private beaches, and recreational facilities. No expense is being spared in the pursuit of excellence. The helipad, once a symbol of Epstein's privilege, is being refurbished to meet the highest standards of safety and functionality. The private dock, where Epstein's infamous guests arrived, is being expanded and enhanced to accommodate luxury yachts and boats from around the world. One of the most significant changes is the overhaul of the main compound. Previously a place of secrecy and abuse, it is now being transformed into a stunning centerpiece that will serve as the heart of the new destination. The architectural team is meticulously restoring the original structures while incorporating modern design elements that exude elegance and sophistication. The interiors will be adorned with opulent furnishings, exquisite artwork, and state-of-the-art technology, creating an atmosphere of unparalleled luxury. The guest villas, where Epstein's influential acquaintances once stayed, are also undergoing a complete makeover. Each villa is being reimagined as a private oasis, featuring spacious living areas, lavish bedrooms, and breathtaking views of the Caribbean Sea. The design team is drawing inspiration from the natural surroundings, incorporating elements of tropical beauty and tranquility into every detail. To ensure the utmost comfort and convenience for visitors, the island's infrastructure is being upgraded. A high-capacity water filtration system is being installed to provide clean and safe water throughout the properties. The gas station, once a mere necessity, is being transformed into a sleek and modern facility that offers top-notch service to guests and staff alike. But it's not just the physical structures that are undergoing a transformation. The landscaping team is working tirelessly to create lush gardens, vibrant floral displays, and serene outdoor spaces. The private beaches, once tainted by Epstein's dark activities, are being meticulously cleaned and restored restored to their pristine state. The goal is to provide guests with a truly immersive and rejuvenating experience, surrounded by the natural beauty that the islands have to offer. It's impossible to discuss the transformation of Little St. James without acknowledging the dark history associated with the island. During Epstein's reign, it was a place of unimaginable horrors, where he is said to have sex-trafficked scores of women. However, as we witness the island's metamorphosis, it serves as a reminder that justice must be sought for the victims who suffered within its shores. The transformation of Little St. James into a luxury resort should not overshadow the need for accountability and healing. Where is the island and what happened there? Little St. James, with its crystal-clear turquoise waters and lush greenery, may appear idyllic at first glance, but behind its picturesque facade lies a sinister tale of exploitation and abuse. Epstein, a convicted sex offender, used this secluded island as a haven for his heinous activities. The island boasted several luxurious villas. These lavish residences served as the backdrop for Epstein's disturbing encounters with underage girls. It was here that he carried out his despicable acts, preying on vulnerable victims who were lured to the island under false pretenses. To maintain his operations on the island, Epstein utilized a boat with the letters LSJ, which ferried staff members and supplies to and from Little St. James. This vessel played a crucial role in sustaining the secrecy surrounding Epstein's activities. U.S. Virgin Islands Attorney General Denise George shed light on the reputation Epstein held within the local community. She said, "It was public knowledge that he was a registered sex offender." Epstein's former home on Little St. James stands as a haunting reminder of the atrocities that occurred within its walls. This residence, once filled with luxury and extravagance, now serves as a chilling testament to the dark secrets hidden on the island. Attorney General Denise George further emphasized the significance of Epstein's wealth and power in enabling him to conceal his criminal activities. She said, "I cannot speak to what happened in the past. What I do know is that because of Epstein's wealth and power, he was able to conceal a lot of this." While Epstein made donations to U.S. Virgin Islands government officials and schools, it is clear that his actions on Little St. James overshadowed any philanthropic gestures he may have made. The island became a playground for his depravity, shielded from the prying eyes of authorities. Little St. James, once seen as a paradise, became a place of nightmares for the victims who fell prey to Epstein's insidious schemes. The island's isolation and Epstein's control over its access points made it nearly impossible for victims to escape or seek help. Little St. James became a fortress of darkness, where Epstein's wealth and power shielded him from the consequences of his actions. Authorities were often denied access to the island, as Epstein's ownership granted him complete control over who could enter his private property. Attorney General Denise George highlighted the challenges faced by law enforcement when it came to investigating Epstein's activities on the island. Little St. James, once a place of tranquility, became a symbol of horror and exploitation. The stories that unfolded on this island are a stark reminder of the depths of human depravity and the lengths to which the wealthy and powerful can go to evade justice. In 2019, Jeffrey Epstein died in a New York prison while awaiting trial on charges of sex trafficking conspiracy and sex trafficking with underage girls. His death was ruled a suicide, but it left many unanswered questions and a trail of victims seeking justice. U.S. Virgin Islands Attorney General Denise George, who took office after Epstein's death, pursued a lawsuit against his estate. The goal was to uncover the truth and hold Epstein accountable, even in death. Epstein's private jet, known as the Lolita Express, played a significant role in his operations. The flight logs of this infamous aircraft revealed numerous trips to the U.S. Virgin Islands, including Little St. James. These flights were often used to transport Epstein and his associates to and from the island. Recently unsealed court documents shed light on the extent of Epstein's network and the individuals connected to his activities. While the documents do not provide an actual list of Epstein's associates, they contain names of people connected to the case in some way. Victims' attorneys have been tirelessly fighting for justice on behalf of their clients. They believe that the unsealed documents are crucial in exposing the truth and holding all those involved accountable. The U.S. Virgin Islands Attorney General's office pursued legal action against Epstein's estate, ultimately securing a $105 million settlement on behalf of the U.S. Virgin Islands. This landmark settlement aimed to compensate victims and bring some measure of justice to those affected. Little St. James, once a place of darkness and exploitation, has now been sold to billionaire Stephen Deckoff. Plans are underway to transform the island into a luxury resort, erasing the haunting history associated with it. While the island's transformation may bring a sense of closure for some, the scars left by Epstein's crimes will never fully heal. The victims, their stories, and the impact of Epstein's actions will forever be a part of the island's legacy. The allegations against Jeffrey Epstein. In order to understand the allegations against Jeffrey Epstein, we must first delve into his dark beginnings. Born in 1953 in Brooklyn, New York, Epstein grew up in a middle-class family and attended Lafayette High School. After graduating, he pursued a career in finance and quickly rose through the ranks, eventually establishing his own financial management firm. Epstein's success in the financial world granted him access to the highest echelons of society. He became known for his lavish lifestyle, rubbing shoulders with politicians, celebrities, and even royalty. But behind the glitz and glamour, a sinister secret was lurking. The first allegations against Epstein emerged in the early 2000s when a 16-year-old girl came forward claiming that she had been hired to massage him. Her vivid recollection of events painted a disturbing picture of sexual exploitation and manipulation. According to court documents, the young girl described Epstein's sprawling mansion in Palm Beach, Florida, as the setting for the abuse. She detailed how Epstein directed her to undress and proceeded to touch her inappropriately while masturbating. The encounter ended with a payment of $200, a mere pittance compared to the trauma she endured. These early allegations were just the tip of the iceberg. As more victims came forward, a pattern began to emerge. Epstein would often target vulnerable young girls, often from disadvantaged backgrounds, luring them with promises of money and a better life. He would exploit their vulnerability, subjecting them to sexual abuse and manipulation. The power dynamics at play were staggering. Epstein's wealth and influence allowed him to operate with impunity, shielding him from the consequences of his actions. But as we will soon discover, the truth has a way of coming to light, no matter how powerful the perpetrator may be. As the allegations against Jeffrey Epstein began to surface, the carefully constructed world he had built started to crumble. The voices of his victims grew louder, demanding justice and exposing the truth. The first major blow came in 2005 when the Palm Beach Police Department launched an investigation into Epstein's activities. Detectives interviewed numerous victims, collecting evidence that painted a damning picture of his sex trafficking operation. One key figure in the investigation was Joseph Recarey, a Palm Beach police detective who tirelessly pursued justice for Epstein's victims. His interviews with alleged victims and Epstein's former house manager, Alfredo Rodriguez, provided crucial insights into the extent of the abuse. The evidence gathered by the police was enough to bring charges against Epstein. In 2008, he pleaded guilty to soliciting a single underage victim in Florida and was required to register as a sex offender. However, the lenient plea deal raised eyebrows and left many questioning the true extent of Epstein's crimes. It wasn't until 2019 that the full scope of Epstein's actions would come to light. New charges were filed against him, alleging sex trafficking and abuse of minors. This time, federal prosecutors were determined to hold him accountable. The case against Epstein gained even more attention when it was revealed that he had connections to numerous high-profile individuals, including politicians, businessmen, and even royalty. The names of former President Bill Clinton and Donald Trump were mentioned in depositions, although no allegations of wrongdoing were made against them. The public's demand for justice grew louder, and the pressure on the legal system intensified. In a shocking turn of events, Epstein was found dead in his jail cell in August 2019. His death was ruled a suicide, but questions surrounding the circumstances of his demise remain. Despite Epstein's death, the legal proceedings continued. Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's confidant and alleged accomplice, faced her own charges related to the sex trafficking operation. In 2021, she was convicted on federal sex trafficking charges and sentenced to 20 years behind bars. The conviction of Maxwell brought some measure of justice to Epstein's victims, but the scars of their experiences will last a lifetime. Their courage in coming forward has shed light on the dark world of sex trafficking and the power dynamics that enable it. Jeff found dead. On August 10, 2019, the shocking news broke that Jeffrey Epstein had been found dead in his jail cell at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York City. The circumstances surrounding his death sent shockwaves through the world, leaving many questioning the official narrative. According to the New York City Medical Examiner and the Justice Department Inspector General, Epstein's death was ruled a suicide by hanging. But as details emerged, suspicions began to mount. How could a man under such high-profile scrutiny manage to take his own life while in custody? Reports of serious lapses in security and protocol raised eyebrows. Questions were raised about the adequacy of the supervision and the malfunctioning of surveillance cameras. It seemed that a series of failures had occurred, leading to Epstein's untimely demise. The guards on duty at the time of Epstein's death were later charged with record falsification, suggesting a cover-up or negligence in their duties. This revelation only fueled the growing suspicions that there was more to Epstein's death than met the eye. The aftermath of Epstein's death saw public public figures and lawmakers calling for reforms to the federal prison system. Attorney General William Barr described Epstein's death as a result of a perfect storm of screw-ups and ordered an investigation by the Justice Department's Inspector General. The FBI and the Department of Justice launched their own investigations into Epstein's death, aiming to uncover the truth behind the mysterious circumstances. The public demanded answers, and the pressure was on to hold those responsible accountable. Despite the official ruling of suicide, doubts and conspiracy theories began to circulate. Many believed that Epstein's death was not a suicide, but a carefully orchestrated murder to silence him and protect the powerful figures he was associated with. Epstein's connections to influential individuals, including politicians, businessmen, and even members of the royal family, fueled speculation that there were co-conspirators involved in his crimes. The possibility of a cover-up became a central focus of the investigations. As the investigations continued, the world anxiously awaited the truth. What really happened to Jeffrey Epstein? Was it suicide or something more sinister? The search for answers would uncover a web of secrets and expose the dark underbelly of power and privilege. The death of Jeffrey Epstein remained shrouded in controversy and unanswered questions. While the official ruling deemed it a suicide, doubts and speculation continue to swirl. The lapses in security, the malfunctioning cameras, and the alleged cover-up have left many skeptical of the official narrative. Epstein's connections to powerful individuals and his claims of possessing compromising information have fueled theories of a high-level conspiracy to silence him. The possibility of co-conspirators orchestrating his death to protect their own interests cannot be dismissed. Despite the ongoing investigations by the FBI and the Department of Justice, the truth may never be fully revealed. The web of secrecy surrounding Epstein's life and the powerful figures involved makes it difficult to uncover the complete story. The aftermath of Epstein's death has sparked a call for accountability and justice for the victims. The focus has shifted to his alleged associates, including Ghislaine Maxwell, who now faces her own legal battles. The need to bring all those involved to justice remains paramount. The controversy surrounding Epstein's death has also highlighted the need for prison reform and a thorough examination of the flaws within the system. The failures that allowed Epstein's death to occur must be addressed to prevent similar tragedies in the future. As the world grapples with the shocking revelations and unanswered questions, one thing is clear: the victims deserve justice. Their voices must be heard, and those responsible for their pain must be held accountable. The legacy of Jeffrey Epstein will forever be marred by the allegations of sexual exploitation and abuse. His death has brought to light the dark underbelly of power and privilege, exposing the vulnerabilities within our society. The story of Jeffrey Epstein serves as a stark reminder that no one is above the law, no matter their wealth or influence. It is a call to action to protect the vulnerable, seek justice, and ensure that those who abuse their power are held accountable. Epstein's new list. But just when we thought we knew the extent of his dark secrets, a new list has emerged, shedding light on even more shocking details. This list, filled with names of influential individuals, has sent shockwaves through society, raising questions about the extent of Epstein's network and the powerful figures involved. First on the list is a name that sends shivers down our spines: former President of the United States, Bill Clinton. Yes, you heard that right. The man who held the highest office in the land is now implicated in Epstein's sordid affairs. According to the list, Clinton had multiple encounters with Epstein, attending his private island and even flying on his private jet, infamously known as the Lolita Express. The extent of their relationship and the activities they engaged in are yet to be fully revealed, but the implications are staggering. But Clinton is not the only high-profile figure mentioned in the list. We also find the name of Prince Andrew, a member of the British royal family. The Duke of York's association with Epstein has long been a subject of speculation, but now we have concrete evidence linking him to the disgraced financier. The list suggests that Prince Andrew was a frequent visitor to Epstein's luxurious properties, including his private island and New York mansion. The nature of their relationship and the extent of Prince Andrew's involvement in Epstein's activities are deeply disturbing. Moving on, we come across the name of renowned lawyer Alan Dershowitz. Known for his high-profile clients and legal expertise, Dershowitz's inclusion in Epstein's list raises eyebrows. According to the revelations, Dershowitz was not only a close associate of Epstein, but also allegedly participated in sexual activities with underage girls. These shocking allegations have tarnished the reputation of a man once considered a legal powerhouse. Another prominent name on the list is Leslie Wexner, the billionaire founder of Victoria's Secret. Wexner's connection to Epstein goes beyond mere friendship. In fact, it is believed that Epstein used his association with Wexner to gain access to young girls, exploiting them for his own pleasure and the pleasure of his influential acquaintances. The extent of Wexner's knowledge and involvement in Epstein's illicit activities is yet to be fully uncovered, but the implications are deeply troubling. As we delve further into the list, we encounter a myriad of other influential figures from the worlds of politics, business, and entertainment. From CEOs of major corporations to Hollywood celebrities, the names on this list paint a picture of a vast network of power and privilege, all intertwined with Epstein's dark world of exploitation and manipulation. It is important to note that the inclusion of these names in Epstein's list does not automatically imply guilt. However, it does raise serious questions about the extent of their involvement and the need for a thorough investigation into their connections with Epstein. The revelations from Jeffrey Epstein's new list are just the tip of the iceberg, exposing a web of corruption that reaches the highest echelons of society. In the next section, we will explore the shocking methods Epstein employed to maintain his network of powerful individuals and the devastating impact it had on the lives of his victims. One of the key tactics Epstein used was his vast wealth and connections. With his immense fortune, he was able to lure vulnerable young girls into his web of exploitation. Offering them promises of a better life, he would shower them with gifts, luxurious trips, and access to a world they could only dream of. For these girls, many of whom came from disadvantaged backgrounds, Epstein's offers seemed like a lifeline. Little did they know the horrors that awaited them. Epstein also relied on his network of influential acquaintances to maintain his operations. By associating himself with powerful figures from various industries, he created a shield of protection that allowed him to continue his illicit activities undetected. These individuals, whether knowingly or unknowingly, became complicit in Epstein's crimes, providing him with a sense of legitimacy and access to more victims. But Epstein's manipulation didn't stop there. He meticulously groomed his victims, exploiting their vulnerabilities and insecurities. He would prey on their dreams and aspirations, promising them a brighter future in exchange for their compliance. Through a combination of psychological manipulation, coercion, and even threats, Epstein ensured their silence and obedience. The consequences for those involved in Epstein's network were far-reaching. For the victims, the impact was nothing short of devastating. Many of these young girls were robbed of their innocence and subjected to unimaginable trauma. Their lives were forever altered, and their trust in others was shattered. The psychological scars they carry will haunt them for a lifetime, but the consequences extended beyond the victims themselves. Epstein's network of powerful individuals faced a reckoning of their own. As the truth began to unravel, their reputations were tarnished, and their involvement in Epstein's activities became public knowledge. Careers were destroyed, relationships shattered, and the trust of the public irreparably damaged. The fallout from Epstein's crimes continues to reverberate through society, exposing the dark underbelly of power and privilege. It is crucial to acknowledge the bravery of the survivors who have come forward to share their stories. Their courage has shed light on the magnitude of Epstein's crimes and has sparked a global conversation about the abuse of power and the need for justice. Their voices have become a rallying cry for accountability and a catalyst for change. That brings us to the end of this video. We hope that you enjoyed it. For more videos like this, click on the cards on your screen.